Hey guys, can you believe that I'm going into month 8 of online school? This video is gonna be long, so if you click this and you're like, I don't know if I can hang out for 20 minutes, but I want the juicy details, I got you. In the description are a bunch of timestamps where you can just jump to whatever is most relevant to you. I did a question poll on my Instagram asking you guys what are your concerns about online vet school, especially for island students. It's not like we can just walk onto campus. I'll be honest because you know I always am. I don't like this and it isn't ideal. I'm losing hands-on experience and I know that when we go back to island, it's all just going to be squished together. People in upper semesters have valid concerns about feeling unprepared and nervous and they don't think they're going to be a good doctor, and that's valid and I relate to how they feel. At the end of the day though, what can be done? Like, really, what can we do? We're all in the same situation here. And I've even heard that people who are in in-state schools aren't even going to campus that much besides just their in-person anatomy labs. If you're watching this and you're starting school soon, I hope this answers some of your concerns. And if you're considering starting school soon, I hope this points you in the best direction that's best for you. Before we get started, I'm doing things a little differently this time. You guys have listened to me and my opinions, and I love and appreciate you for that. But this topic is so important to me that you're getting the best, most unbiased information possible that I reached out to 4 of my fellow classmates located in the US, Canada, Puerto Rico, and St. Kitts to talk to you about how online school has affected them. Let's get into it.
Hi, my name is Taylor. I'm a 4th semester vet student at Ross University, and I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. I decided to go back home in March. I was taking anatomy at the time, and the school sent us an email saying that we had to turn in all of our lab equipment, and I figured since I wasn't allowed to go into lab anyways, might as well go back home because I was going back home for break anyways, so I could just get a few more weeks at home. Little did I know, 4 weeks turned into what is now 8 months. I kind of just stayed at home. It was pretty difficult at first to focus, and then I also had to have those conversations with my parents about being a little bit quieter and mindful when I'm studying, and being especially mindful during my exams. Since I've been home, the lack of hands-on experience has been in the back of my head. During one of our semester breaks, I did complete an externship at a small animal hospital for 2 weeks since I knew it would be a while before I had hands-on experience. Thankfully this semester we are doing clinical skills labs, and we've had help from professors that we can do online, which has been pretty helpful. I eventually convinced my parents to get a puppy, so that's something that's been helping with the study breaks. When I'm not studying, I spend a lot of time outside with the dog. I work out, listen to music, find something to watch on Netflix, and when it was warmer, I would go only to outdoor restaurants because that's a lot safer.
Hey guys, I'm Rachel and I'm from Vancouver, BC, Canada. And I am in my 4th semester at Ross University. So I've been online for quite a long time now, and it's not easy, I'm not gonna lie. It's hard, but it's doable. You do have support. We have Facebook pages dedicated to each semester, and I go on there for everything. I rant, I get information about deadlines, I get information about exams, I go on there for everything. There's no judgment. Everyone is just, trying to get through it the best they can. As far as being at home and trying to stay motivated, I'm not gonna lie, it's not easy. I definitely take my days off and I don't think about school. I don't think about what an exit date is or a transit date or whatever we're going over. I really take that and turn my mind off, because for me that's what works. Sleep is super important, and even though the balance is like this sometimes, if you really try, you can make it more like this. Trust me. Tell your family, this is, I gotta do my studying now, can't be disturbed. That's one of the things that I think is hardest, is maybe living at home or living with your family and nobody really gets it. It's a stressful system, it's a stressful schedule, and I think it's just really important to just be like, leave me alone. One of the other things I say was really hard is not having hands-on experience. It's one thing to be good at the books, but it's another thing to actually be good with your patients. Scheduling was a little bit strange for me just because I'm on the West Coast. There was a lab that I was scheduled for 4:30 a.m. I emailed people, I stressed, and in the end it got sorted. It's a stressful time. It's a stressful time for everybody. We're trying to stay safe. We're trying to be veterinarian online during COVID. So it's never easy, but I promise you that you can get through it. Hopefully I will see you on campus one day if this is your choice and you're actually coming to Ross, or if you're already at Ross. If there's anything I can do to help out, especially if you're Canadian, reach out to me. I'm always here. Other than that, I wish you guys all the best.
Hola, mi nombre es Orlando Trujillo. Hello there, my name is Orlando Trujillo and I am from Puerto Rico. At first, it was a very stressful situation for me because of the uncertainty on when we were going to be allowed back on island if we decided to leave. And on top of that, I had no idea how Ross was going to handle the online situation, and I had no idea how I will develop as an online student. I honestly was so anxious, so stressful, that I had no idea what to do. But at the end, I had to make a decision. Do I regret coming back home? Honestly, it depends on the day of the week that you ask me that, because some days I really feel like I needed to come back home, and then other days imposter syndrome really hits me because I see my colleagues back at Ross doing hands-on things, being able to have study group sessions, being able to go to the library. I try not to think about whether I made the right decision or not, and try to focus on right now, what's happening right now, and try to focus on my studying and try not to fall behind on lecture time. Things that have helped me through this transition of becoming an online student, my extracurricular activities, for example, going out to the beach for a run, going out for a drive, stick to my schedule, go to bed earlier, wake up earlier, and just be aware of my situation, is adopting a pet. Her name is Gabby. She has a lot of energy and has helped me a lot in sticking to my schedule. Look at that. Look at that puppy. Hope I see you at Ross.
Hello, my name is Kate. Having decided to stay on St. Kitts. Overall, very happy with my decision. St. Kitts started implementing curfews and lockdowns. I want to say we had a total of 5 or 6 lockdowns. Our longest one was 7 days. There were, I think, 16, 17 total cases on the island. No deaths. Everyone recovered well. I think the way that St. Kitts handled it was awesome. Lockdowns got pretty difficult after a while. In a house by myself. My saving grace, though, was I had foster cats, one of which I still have. This is 2. I love him more than anything in the world. The group of us who stayed obviously got super close. We'd go to the beach, hiked every single trail. I went and got scuba certified. I didn't feel like a major difference as far as that summer semester being online. It was strictly lecture. For me, that didn't really change much because I'm a Panopto student, so I was in my element. Panopto meaning recorded lectures. I don't attend them live. I've definitely struggled more this semester as far as having motivation because we have like labs online, which I don't know how to say this in a not nice, it's not a good time. Online labs suck. I don't feel like I learn anything. So I'm grateful that I have these other opportunities to do so. Obviously, no students at Ross, no students on campus. So no students means no one take care of the animals. I got hired as part of the animal care team, and we would feed/clean, care for turtles, tortoises, dogs, birds, and then horses on the weekends. The on-call veterinarian, he came out, allowed us to do stuff, blood draws, vaccinations, dewormers. I joined one of the clubs. It's the Feral Cat Project. Through that, I've gotten to neuter a cat, which was sweet, and then work on prepping them for surgery, recovering, trap release, all that cool stuff. I think having less students on island, better chance of getting to actually do stuff. Super, super happy I stayed. I know I would have lost my mind back home with my parents as much as I love them. I think that's only starting to bum me out a little bit right now because obviously I'd like to be home for Christmas. I don't ever think, oh, I wish I would have gone home later.
I have Brittney here with me from SGU. So the first question that I have is, what's the best advice you can give to someone taking online classes as a first semester?
Stay positive. Like if you are agreeing to like go into this online, like it's not going to be like a class that you had in undergrad that was online. Like it's still rigorous and it's still going to be a lot of content. Definitely try to like reach out to other people in your term, even maybe people in upper term, to just find out things. Like don't be afraid to ask for help just because you're isolated and you're at home, because it's a lot of material. And like that first semester, like you realize like, wow, there is a lot of stuff to learn. And you just really have to start that foundation of like being serious and like being on top of it.
At Ross, we do have Facebook pages for each semester. They set them up when you come in. Do not be shy. Like everybody's in the same exact position as you. There's nothing wrong with posting on the page and being like, hey, what's up? Like who wants to start a study group? Make that community now. Don't make things weird, because there's people that like, they don't know anybody in their semester. They have no one to talk to. They don't have any help. And if I never met my friends, like the friends that I met the first day of school, they're still my friends. And if I never met them, I would not have made it this far. Yeah, my biggest advice is just don't go at it alone. Do you find that managing money is easier being home than on the island?
I think that can personally go both ways, because on the island, things are more expensive than they are in the States. But in the States, you can go get your Starbucks every morning. You can go like to the mall. You can online shop. Like, I can't order Amazon to Grenada, but at the same time, like you're saving on housing, potentially. If you're someone like me and Ashley and we're still living in our parents' house, like you're not paying rent. I personally think if you looked at certain things cost by cost. The cost of living in the States is a little bit cheaper, but you're probably spending more just because you have access to more in the States.
When I got this question, I laughed because I was like, oh yeah, I'm like saving so much money. And then I was like, actually, I order Uber Eats like once a week. My rent turned into like a storage fee, so I was only paying like $250 a month.
That's how much I pay right now.
Massive difference than $800 a month. And I was like, okay, well, like if I do the math, like I'm saving thousands of dollars, and I usually would spend like $100 a month on groceries, and then like, you know, like going out, having fun, spending money here and there. But like, I'm trapped at home. I'm not buying groceries. I'm not going out having fun.
Exactly.
But takeout has become my best friend.
You have to like add up, like it's like you spend $15 once a day, and it's like that's nothing. But when you add up how many times you're spending $15, like,
I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think I'm spending $900 a month. I'm definitely saving some money, but I'm not smart about managing it, because let me tell you, are there required lecture times, or is it mostly at your own pace?
For SGU, everything in the vet school is asynchronous, which means like it's at your own pace. Usually lectures are recorded, pre-recorded by the professor and uploaded. Labs are the same way at SGU, but like sometimes we'll have Zooms that are like at a certain time.
I've had friends that even when we were on island, they never went to class. Like they just watched recordings always. They've always been an opto student. Like this was never a hit for them. Live and lecture, like I'm frantically writing things down, and then I have to fix it later on anyways.
And
so
if you don't really understand it, you don't have the time to stop and like really sit and look up stuff, or like take into consideration like, oh wait, like I think I have that written somewhere else. Like you just have to keep going with them.
I'm so impressed when people ask questions live. I'm like, how are you processing this? The only things that you have to show up for are our labs. Those are live. Sometimes you have to have your camera on, sometimes you don't. And then some will even have like poll everywhere questions during it to like actually make sure that you can see, because last semester when we had this case-based course, and it was like mandatory, you had to be there, but like we would just turn it on and walk away. Is every semester online? Yes, like even if you go back, it will be online. Like you could have been on island this whole time, nobody will be lecturing in a hall. Classes are gonna be 100% online, exams are gonna be 100% online, nothing's gonna change.
Everything in Grenada for the vet school is 100% online. Lecture, lab, everything, test, whether you're in person there in Grenada or not, it's online.
What more support do you think you could receive from the school? And then another person said, how is your school being supportive of students since you're online?
The school is being supportive because they're still like, all of the clubs are still trying to run. We had an online virtual Halloween party. The health psychological services, they still have all their workshops, you know, whether that's just you one-on-one with a counselor. So I think that's good. The only thing like I wish the school would have just like communicated a little more, because like in September, they said, oh, you're gonna have the option to be online regardless in 2021 spring. But we're gonna let you know like closer to November your decision. And from September to November, we didn't hear anything from the school. Now you told us 5 days ago, and there's some people who like are now frantically trying to figure out how to get their stuff from the island because it was gonna be their last term. And I just feel like sometimes like you just need to bridge the gaps for like communication wise.
Being in complete dark, and that's something like we've been arguing too with our administration, is like, please just like be more transparent with us, because if we're bringing something up, it's probably because like we found out already on our own. Yeah. I understand they can't go and say things unless they have like permission from like the higher ups. There's no reason for radio silence if there's no update. Even if there was 0 updates, just be like, we have nothing, but this is what we are. Just something.
These are the options we're weighing, because like that was another thing we kept like bringing, like you said, like the town hall meetings, like to the dean and the locals and like the government of Grenada, like, why can't we do this? Look at this option, look at this option. And they would just say, we know we're considering different things. So why don't you tell the students what you're considering?
And then we introduced block exams. So then I also have these exams every single week. I just wish that like all my subject professors would communicate and be like, this is what I'm expecting of them this week. So like, let's not make the load because some weeks like all of them are super light. And then other weeks, all of them are super heavy. Like, couldn't we have like dispersed? You're not my only class. And sometimes they teach like I'm their only class, but my exam has all of them on it. You guys do like the weekly office hours. That would be awesome to like go through and apply and just have a whole time
ask questions, like live and stuff.
I'd say the one thing that I do appreciate that they're supportive of, they understand that we have these weekly exams and they're exhausting, and also there's a pandemic going on. Most subjects have agreed to a dropped exam, which I really appreciate, because like I've had a week where like it's been bad. Like I got like a 50, but like, but also it's super normal to get 50s. Okay, like
It is, especially in vet school.
I don't think everybody here has straight A's because they don't. And if they do, good for them. It's normal. I get A's, I get B's, but I get F's. If you could make something about your online experience better, what could it be?
The school giving us certain resources. In the higher term, they were required to make like their own surgical models. I just think that's crazy because if we were in Grenada, it would be provided. So like, why don't you make those models and send them? It's like, why is it that I'm using a stuffed animal in a water bottle and some tubing?
I don't know. Like I've kind of gotten like numb to it
That's
all.
how I feel too. Like I don't even know what to say anymore or ask or what could be better. It's just like, I don't know.
Like
Let us go back. Like,
I just feel like I'm like, it is what it
it
is.
is, exactly.
Do you know when you are going back to the island?
I don't know when I'm going back, but I'm definitely going to go back to get some things. We put everything in our freezer. And my fear, I'm going to walk back into the most rancid smell on this planet. But I really hope not, because I'm like, you know, I can pay that late electric bill that was only running my refrigerator. But like, I just pray that it's still on.
Yeah, because you guys aren't going back.
Yeah. And so like for me, the next time I could potentially go back even normal is August. They're just doing it on a term by term basis. So like for the fall 2021, they would announce like probably late July.
The way that it's been working for Ross, like people are coming semester by semester. So highest semesters are always the priority because they have their surgeries. Now, second and third are going to be coming back too because they have their anatomy labs. First and vet prep won't be there. And then I won't be there because they didn't include my semester in going back, unfortunately. I'm not sure why, because we've missed a lot of lab, but they said they'll let us know. Even if, like, we're not going back, because they keep saying, we'll let you know in January. Just rip the Band-Aid off. I want a game plan. Like, I want to know, like, okay, like, we're going to set up, like, this for you, and we're going to have these kind of resources, like, just something, because, like, I've missed out on a lot. I don't know. I got to get back, because I got a list of things that I want to do.
Right. There was like still like, I mean, I feel like I went around the island and did a lot, but there were still some things that like I had to check off on my list. I got scuba certified right before I left.
What do you miss most about island life?
So many things. I miss living by myself, the simplicity of island life. You could go to the beach any day, seeing the stars every night.
I miss that it was 80 degrees every day.
It would never rained all day.
Yes. The whole reason I don't want to get out of bed is because I'm cold.
Exactly.
Even though I had to study, being at school on an island, like, it just made me so happy. Like, I could study outside. I go to the beach for an hour just because, like, I can. What do you like about being online, and what is your least favorite thing about being online?
My least favorite thing is not being on the island. Like, I really liked Grenada, and just, like, the hands-on missing that, obviously. Especially as you're starting to get into these higher terms where you're doing, like, real interesting things.
My least favorite is just this routine. It's gotten old. I miss group study, even though, like, I have Zoom and FaceTime. I miss people. The list can go on. What do I like about being online? If you asked us in March or April, I could probably have been like, I like that. I can go to like any store and I can get good food and like
exactly.
I like that I can have Uber Eats and Amazon Prime.
You see now, like it's not worth it. Like
I mean, yeah, I'm home with my family, but they're not going anywhere. Like, how do you handle the time zone difference?
So for us, it doesn't really matter since I'm in Eastern Standard. I'm just 1 hour behind Grenada now. It was more so an issue for people like on the West Coast because some of the times ended up now being at like 6 or 7 a.m. So now they just made it so that like nothing can be before 12 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time, which is like 11 a.m. Eastern.
For me, like same thing, like they don't do the whole daylight savings like we do. For people on the West Coast, like in California, it definitely was sucking, you know, they had to wake up pretty early because 8 a.m. labs. So for them, they'd be up at like 5, 6 a.m. I get that people have schedules set in St. Kitts, like people have things to do, but like you can't just open a window a little later and move things around for everybody.
Right.
You know, like how do you do labs and how are you learning clinical skills since you've been online for so long?
SU's labs are pre-recorded, they'll guide it, the professors will script it out. Is it optimal? No, but I can see where the professors are trying. Clinical skills, like it's one of those things like they say if you have a vet that will let you make up those, like by all means do it. But at the end of the day, they want us to focus on school first. And they just keep saying they'll find the time to make it up. I feel like that time eventually will get shorter and shorter, but you know, what can you do? That's just what it is.
The only labs I have right now are my clinical skill lab, and they teach us, you know, how to tie knots and suture and all the fun doctor things. They sent me this practice model in the mail. You cut it open, there's this red string, and that like mimics like a blood vessel. And then they have this glove latex material thing that mimicked a uterus. So I did a little spay. I did my best.
So like you go to lab and you'll put your camera down like this and you do what you do and then you show it to them. They have videos and we practice live, and I wish that they could like set up a TA or something. With that, then it would just be like so much more personal instead of them just like trying to make sure they get through every student. I could be like, okay, like does this actually look right? Like, can you watch me do this? I did have like a micro lab. If it was in person, I was supposed to like gram stand and like look at it on the microscope. So like obviously I can't do that, so that one kind of just like felt like pointless. The teacher was like, this is a gram stain, and then she's like, okay, you completed your lab skill, and I'm like, did I? It was good, you know, we got to talk about this, be transparent. I always love being open, honest, keeping it real.
Exactly.
I like that you like to do the same. This was good.